train has been overrun by
When Vanilla Sky was released in December 2001, its audience had mixed reactions. Its director Cameron Crowe was subject to criticism regarding his seeming inability to create films that resonated with the audience. Following movies like Say Anything, Jerry Maguire, and Almost Famous, the direction he took with Vanilla Sky was a bit perplexing, people questioning both the inclusion and use of Tom Cruise, claiming that it was more of a showcase of the actor rather than an earnest attempt at connecting with the audience. Following the release of Vanilla Sky, Crowe's career would go on to be absent of those higher points earlier in Hollywood. While some of the movies he'd go on to release have been taken positively, it still marked a bit of a turning point in his career. But the question 20 years later is, were the critics correct? Before we get into the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content. Also, as a warning, this video does contain spoilers that reveal key plot points and surprises. Vanilla Sky features the story of David Ames, the head of a magazine trying to gain control of his company. Alongside his various eccentricities comes a lack of consideration for his lovers and friends. You know, typical rich guy behavior. He eventually meets a woman named Sophia Serrano, played by Penelope Cruz, whom he falls in love with. If you didn't know, Penelope Cruz actually reprises her role from the original film Vanilla Sky as a remake of Open Your Eyes. Unfortunately, he ends up getting into a car crash, leaving his face disfigured. This marks the beginning of his gradual descent into losing his grip on reality. Towards the end of the film, it's revealed that many of the scenes and moments throughout the film were a result of a sleep-induced alternate reality. Of course, due to the dreamlike atmosphere of the movie, its storytelling heavily involves the use of association and illusion, taking on aspects of a tone piece that avoids telling or even showing you what to think or how to feel. The name of the movie itself, Vanilla Sky, was primarily chosen because of the way it felt rather than it meaning something in particular. As a result, often leaving people who watched it uncertain of what they just saw. Tom Cruise's portrayal of David to some comes off unsympathetic, and his romance with Sophia has been labeled unconvincing. As for the original, Vanilla Sky isn't a traditional remake, but instead is more of a remix, holding up a funhouse mirror to the original, adding layers to the source material. Think of it as a band covering a song from another band, putting their own spin on the source material. 2 years after The Matrix, Vanilla Sky, as well as a number of other movies, carried themes of both simulacra and simulation. Following its release, Crowe went on to say that Vanilla Sky had been inspired by Elvis's attitude towards loneliness amongst all the attention. So the fact that the soundtrack has become a staple of the film isn't too surprising, using a wide variety of music that encapsulates different aspects of the movie, featuring songs like Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space by Spiritualized, the song itself incorporating aspects of other songs they themselves incorporated other songs. Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys, which was created using a collage technique of remixing hundreds of individual recordings into a cohesive song, as well as heavily featuring Radiohead's Kid A, which has themes of alienation and dystopia. Crowe himself playing Radiohead's Kid A repeatedly on set while making the film. The macro themes and plot itself don't naturally fit within the mold of a traditional movie. The ending leaving more questions than answers, suggesting that David was dying in the moment of the present timeline and had put himself into a self-induced sleep, dreaming up a wonderful time for the dream to eventually become a nightmare, reaching the edge of destruction and calling for help, only to be woken up and realize that he's been asleep for over 100 years, bringing every aspect of the film's authenticity into question as well as the ending itself. This has led people to develop multiple interpretations of the film, their own evolving among each watch and having further discussions with other people. Films like this often reward its viewers upon multiple rewatches. The phrase, "open your eyes," repeating both at the beginning and ending of the movie, playing into the dreamlike structure of the film. David existing in a sort of choose-your-own-adventure narrative and finding himself in multiple loops. David's narcissism and disconnection itself serving as a critique of wealth, fame, and celebrity, alongside a macro representation of America and the American dream as a whole. While this has become cliché in recent years with current social attitudes and any number of shows eager to play to it, Vanilla Sky came just 3 months after 9/11 and before the internet had become an integral part of life. The scene of David jumping up a tower and running through Times Square, running and screaming alone, hitting a crucial time in cultural memory. David's presence in the film unsettles the audience because his longing for human connection reflects our own desire for genuine relationships. The substitutes and coping mechanisms we employ, such as parasocial interactions, fail to fulfill our genuine need. Instead, they contribute to a nightmarish existence where the only means of escape is to either sleep or completely disengage. Our constant distractions perpetuate the illusion, allowing us to avoid loneliness while simultaneously remaining isolated. Although virtual socialization is readily available at our fingertips, it often results in herd mentality and the reinforcement of our own beliefs. While a momentary disruption or temporary outage can briefly expose the truth, the current social landscape is one that we have collectively embraced. While we may not personally embody David's character, his plea to awaken resonates with everyone at some point in their lives. Over time, Vanilla Sky has served as a commentary on the tragedy of a modern life, where sincere attempts at romance and emotion are overshadowed by illusion and irony. Exploring the consequences of living in an age dominated by social media where individuals are encouraged to curate their own private worlds and perceive themselves as the heroes of their stories. This pursuit of personal stardom, coming at the expense of true emotional connection and an inability to recognize the inherent laws. Vanilla Sky allows the audience to bring in their own associations and phantoms to each viewing, allowing the film to be seen in a different light upon each watch. Full of expansive and subjective meanings, it avoids the limitation of a single interpretation, instead inviting people to contemplate their own experiences and perspective. While it has been dismissed by critics, the film's power lies in its ability to awaken viewers and make them see beyond the surface, encouraging a deeper understanding of the human condition. Vanilla Sky serves as a reminder to break free from the illusions of modern life and embrace genuine connection and emotional depth, urging you to open your eyes and recognize the loss that comes with a self-centered existence. Through its thought-provoking narrative and complex themes, the film prompts us to reevaluate our priorities and seek meaningful experiences that go beyond the superficial. Ironically, this in itself is looped around so many times it's become easily dismissed or part of the illusion itself. That being said, Vanilla Sky would just like you to do your best. What did you think of Vanilla Sky? Do you think its array of messages has aged well today? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you like the content, I'd appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Are there any other movies or pieces of media you'd like us to talk about? Be sure to let us know. Anyway, I will see you in the next video.